Kovalev and Cafaro meet in the face-off dot for the first time today, and we are underway in the Hat City. Mashar tries to chip this into the Jersey end. Knocked down at the blue line. Mazzy will try that same side wall once again. Knocked down by Cafaro. Gives across top of the slot, and ripping one wide was Nick Byron. Chipped out of the zone. This may go all the way for icing. It does. And just 23 seconds into this first period, Danbury will have a defensive zone face-off. I'd like to welcome Casey Bryant into the booth. Casey, excellent public address announcing.
Sometimes you have to pull double duty in this job, Zach.
Only double.
Double, triple, why not? Just pile as many jobs on me as you possibly can.
It helps build the resume. Face-off to the left of Hadley, and off the draw comes out to the blue line. Here's Sabatini wrapping it around into the near side corner. Poked back to the point. Gonzalez Helm able to hold the blue line, but then Cullinan will take it away and feed it along for Cade Bacon. Now Nikita Kovalev. Bumped off the stick of Cullinan and down deep into the Jersey zone. Mashar on the forecheck, forces the breakout up the near side wall. Danbury's in the middle of a change, and now getting sprung ahead is George Hagley. Hagley on in, saved by Hadley, and he'll hold on, but it does result in a penalty, and we'll see New Jersey's power play for the first time.
Well, Connor Brown got caught out of position on that particular play. He lost his man, and I was about to say, Zach, that energy level is going to be a big focus for the Danbury Junior Hat-Tricks today. They got embarrassed yesterday in the third period, allowing 7 goals in that particular frame. Response is going to be key. You want to see what kind of fight they have in them, and that's not the start that you want, taking a penalty right off the draw like that, getting caught flat-footed in the neutral zone.
Especially against this New Jersey squad. With the defeat yesterday, or rather with the victory yesterday, the Northeast Generals clinched first seed in the Eastern Division. That means Danbury at number 2, New Jersey at number 3. They're almost already locked into that playoff seeding. They've got a 3-game set over the next couple days. They'll play 2 more games over the course of the season, and then you get, 4 days off, and then you're going right back to it, and this time win or go home?
At this point, it's not a marathon, it's a sprint. It really is, because you have so much action jam-packed into such a short amount of time. Now, the Danbury Junior Hat-Tricks may be in a comfortable enough position to where they can say, okay, we've all but clinched a playoff spot, but you still want to go in at the right time. The key for the last year's Junior Hat-Tricks was that they were entering into the playoffs with such a great win streak under their belts, as opposed to, if you had gotten them a month earlier, they were on a 10-game losing streak. Then they entered the playoffs on a 10-game winning streak.
Certainly. And how did they finish up that season? By defeating the Elmira Junior Soaring Eagles, jumping them in the standings, and they were on their way to start that playoff series out in New York when they received a very sad phone call and said, turn around.
It's a long push to the playoffs, but a lot of it is just about, can you get hot at the right time?
So Jersey on their first power play. A sharp angle attempt goes off the butt of Hadley's stick. Chopped back down low for Hagley. Hagley could not handle it, and again gets sent all the way down.
Brendan Avazov is a very dangerous scorer, and Connor Lefkoff edged off him and let him have an open shot to the net, knowing that Nathan Hadley is taller in his cage, so he's able to take away that top shelf.
Avazov with 51 points. He's averaging almost 2 points a game. 14th overall in the league, 2nd overall in the division. Certainly a talented kid.
Last year, Avazov had a 4-point game against the Danbury Junior Hat-Tricks. He's just one of those players where every time he steps out onto the ice and has the puck, he's dangerous.
Here's Gonzalez Helm getting around the defense of Bryce Wallace. Gonzalez Helm behind the net. Sent one in front. It's loose in the crease. Hadley down on the ice. Was able to keep it from crossing the goal line. Couldn't quite get a handle on it. And then unable to clear is Jake Oldham. He'll get a second opportunity and slap it all the way down.
Good effort by Oldham on that play. He doesn't get enough on the initial backhander, but he's able to get it back to himself.
That's the thing. He stays with it, and he's able to clear it out. You didn't see that kind of follow-through over the past couple of games, especially yesterday. Kovalev forces a turnover at his own blue line. Pass just a little too far for Westendorf. It gets sent all the way down. 10 seconds remain in Jersey's power play. Here's Kovalev shorthanded. Westendorf canceled out along the wall. 2-on-2 through the neutral zone they go. And we're back to 5-a-side hockey. Here's Byron. Sent across, and then getting just enough of it was Nathan Hadley. Boy, a bit of a change-up there.
I was rattling around through the air. That was wobbling, almost like a knuckle puck up in the air. And going back to what generated that rush, that was a hit along the boards from Cameron Pape, who's a familiar name to Danbury as he was tendered over the summer.
Yes, he was, and yeah, it's always interesting, especially, Casey, the longer that we do this, you start seeing the same names.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're not. You take a look at Dylan Harbour, who had high hopes coming here to Danbury. He plays a couple games, eventually gets sent to the Long Beach Sharks.
Well, there's a lot of juggling that goes on at the NA3HL level this year because the talent is better than it's ever been. So a lot of players are trying to find homes and dealing with competition from potentially NAHL or NCDC guys that are suddenly without a team.
That's a good point about how, the talent level is certainly higher at this level this season, especially because you have the NCDC guys, you have the NAHL guys, but just think about how many Americans can't go up to Canada and play this year. You take a look at the British Columbia Hockey League, a junior A league, on the west coast of Canada.
The OJHL is up there as well. That's one of those options for American players.
Yeah, Maverick Skeens this year is playing in the SIJHL.
That's right.
Dumped in by the Tricks. Donovan on the forecheck, and now Weber. Bit of a different line here with Dylan Weber, Nate Mastroni, and Colby Donovan out on the ice. We had seen Donovan paired up with Brandon Cope and Matti Tarainen over the past few days. Tanner Smith sends us through everybody. Wallace will race back. There's the whistle for icing. And 4:50 into the first period, we remain tied at 0.
Trying to get a little bit more grit alongside Colby Donovan to open up some space. Mastroni likes to play along the wall. Dylan Weber is a good two-way player. So rather than front load a lot of your offensive experienced talent on the top line, trying to spread the wealth a little bit and open up some space and get Donovan scoring again.
Kovalev on the draw for Danbury. A 50-50 puck goes back towards the blue line. Connor Brown unable to hold it. Brown will circle in the referee's crease, sending one in on goal that Goodson easily sends into the corner. First time that Goodson's actually touched the puck today. Kovalev again. Sent down low, pass in front, they score! Misha Mishar! 1-0 Danbury.
Kovalev gets it going by sending it down below the goal line, and it's the presence of mind of Cullinan to recognize where the third part of that trio is. Misha Mishar lurking in between the hash marks. How good has this trio been for Danbury? They are clicking on another level. They look like the Coneheads out there all together.
They've been a revelation, and Casey, you and I touched on this a couple games ago. None of these players started the season with Danbury. They were picked up along the way, and just the instant chemistry has been amazing. For Mishar, it's his 9th goal of the season, and Nikita Kovalev keeps that point streak going. It's up to 14 games now.
And that's exactly the kind of start you want if you're Danbury, too. You kill off the penalty, you get an early goal, you put that early penalty kill behind you. Now you can start to get the wheels churning a little bit.
Missed alley-oop in front, and then taking a shot from the blue line was Masiri. It goes wide. Nice dipsy-doodle move. It gives Jake Spangler some room. Passed in front. Hadley gets a handle on that. Hagley can't get that one deep. He'll regroup in the neutral zone and pitchfork it right into the glove of Cade Bacon.
You can tell that Massieri has the trigger, his finger on the trigger. He wants to pull it. He wants to pull it every time the puck comes towards him. He's got a good wrist shot on him.
Well, especially when you're a forward, there's nothing better than ripping a shot on goal. They'll get an opportunity here as Avazov got his pocket picked. Sent into the corner, and here's Brett Bell. Coming together with Bacon. Bell sent across the crease, and then a spin-around shot by Avazov goes wide. What hands.
If he's a lefty, that's in the back of the net. It was just a little bit to his left as a right-handed shot at that far side post.
Looking to cause all sorts of trouble for New Jersey is Aiden Bepko. Bepko sees this puck bounce through his skates. Titans will be able to regroup. In the neutral zone, Madsey will flex it away. Now Jules Jardine. You don't normally see a forward wearing number 30 out there, Casey.
Not typically, no. That's usually reserved for the goaltender, but most NHL teams have it retired at this point in their history. They normally, no, that's usually reserved for the goaltender, but most NHL teams have it retired at this point in their history. They normally have had at least one goalie that has had that number retired.
Yeah, worthy of that at least. Although, interestingly enough, I don't think 30's retired in Montreal. They've got
Is that true?
Yeah, they've got 33 for Waugh, 29 for Dryden, Glenn Hall number 1, but I don't think they've had a 30.
That's interesting. I'd have to look at that. But for a franchise as storied as that one, I find that almost impossible to believe.
Yeah, you'd believe that was the one, if someone's going to have that retired number. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Danbury's going to go on to their first power play of the afternoon. Nate Byron will find himself in the penalty box, 2 minutes for holding, and we'll get to see Danbury's special teams for the first time. Danbury comes into this game ranked 17th overall in the league. They convert on 21.3% of their penalties. The Titans, not sure how accurate this is, but at least according to the stats, they come into this game ranked 27th of the 31 NA3HL teams on the penalty kill, only killing off 66% of their penalties. And, well, if that number's accurate, Danbury certainly has to take advantage while they can.
Absolutely. This is a great opportunity to give yourself the cushion that you so desperately need.
Cullinan at the top of the umbrella. His shot got blocked. Mashar picks up the loose puck, switches with Cullinan, and gives along for Kovalev. Kovalev now on his backhand, looking for an option. Flings one across that finds Cullinan. Cullinan drives down low, has Weber in the corner. Instead goes back up to the point for Lefkoff. Lefkoff will wind and fire. Deflected in front just wide. That's a set play as Misha Mashar was on the back door.
Absolutely. You don't usually see Connor Lefkoff so happy to pull the trigger on that one there. He got some good velo.
Quick save by Goodson. The rebound. What a save by Grant Goodson, slapping it out of midair with the handle of his stick. Weber for Kovalev with 1:05 to go in the power play. Weber down to one knee, chips along Mashar. Has an option in Cullinan, can't quite connect, and it goes all the way down the ice.
Good strength in the near side corner by Dylan Weber. He was down on one leg, as you mentioned, but he pops right back up to his feet. Oh, goodness.
Well, that was interesting. Connor Lefkoff giving everybody on the Danbury bench a scare. Shades of Patrick Steffen.
He skates right in front of his own crease, and the ice surface was a little choppy because normally Nathan Hadley and the goaltenders across the nation, they do that little skating routine to chop up the blue paint. It wasn't very even, and Lefkoff almost potted it in his own cage.
It's probably would have been his least favorite goal of all time. Offsides called against Danbury as Colby Donovan was a stride ahead. So 19 seconds to go in Danbury's power play. They lead it 1-0. 11:08 to go in the first period.
You know, revisiting your point about Canadiens' retired numbers, by the way, after a quick Google search, it is true, they do not have a 30 retired, and the hockey writers last year ranked their best number 30 as a forward, Knuckles Nyland.
There you go.
Boy, was he a bruiser, wasn't he?
Yes, I would not want to be on his wrong side. 2-on-2 into the zone. Weber sends one wide. Bacon at the point. A bouncing puck keeps it alive. Donovan shovels it along for Madzy, who will take the shot. Goodson sends it into the corner as the penalty has expired. Now Donovan cuts off a pass behind the net. Goes back to Madzy. Again on goal. Deflected by Mastroni wide. Cade Bacon. His shot from the point in and out of the glove of Goodson. Donovan will pick up that rebound, chip it down deep. Casey, you notice how the Titans, they were back to even strength, but they were still a bit shorthanded in their own zone.
And there's a lot of confidence from the Danbury defense right now. They're all taking shots on goal. Bacon, Madzy, Lefkoff, they're all taking shots because you have players that want to make up for yesterday, try to make a statement to the coaching staff, and reassert themselves.
Looking for this one is Kovalev. A backhand shot goes off the outside of the cage. He didn't miss by much.
Goodson came out to challenge that shot. Good on him.
Now Kovalev behind the net. Drops off Cullinan. Mashar's in the slot calling for it. Sent across the blue paint, just out of the reach of the Belarusian.
That's a perfect pass there from Cullinan. You have to thread the needle. You only have so many inches to work with. That's the right idea.
Good hustle by Nick Byron will cancel out the icing call. This gets kicked off the skate of Gonzalez Helm and back into the Danbury zone. First time the puck's really been in Danbury's zone and under any sort of pressure over the last few minutes.
They used that power play to really swing the momentum on their side and tilt the ice.
Here's Mashar, the lone goal scorer. He tries feeding one across for Conan. That's cut down by Gonzalez Helm. Now Gonzalez Helm with another opportunity. He gets his pocket picked by Misha Mashar. Mashar cutting towards the front. Mashar draws the penalty. And Danbury will go on to their second power play of the afternoon. They're 0 for 1 so far.
And Mashar angrily skating back to the bench because it wasn't the penalty that knocked the puck off his stick. It was the ice. It just hopped over the blade. Mashar trying the power move to stuff it in from far side post to near side. It's a great power move and just an unfortunate bounce of the puck. Sometimes puck luck will bite you.
Nice when it works out for you.
Well, he does have one goal already, but you want to see that kind of greed from a player like Mashar.
And why not? You know, when you to your point, when you have that big body like that, you got to use it. Now, an interesting power play unit coming out for Danbury. It's going to be Colby Donovan centering Jake Oldham and Nate Mastroni. Monty Tarainen and Cole Madzi, at least, were on the blue line. Now Tarainen and Donovan have switched spots. But with a setup like this, Casey, I'm expecting a very fluid movement, at least for this first shift.
You want to see the feet moving and the puck being slung quickly.
It's Tarainen off the draw, giving it for Donovan. Donovan didn't see an option on the near side wall. Now drops for Madzi. Donovan calling for it, gives back to Madzi. Cole Madzi, Colby Donovan. Madzi is shot in and out of the glove of Goodson. It's loose in the crease, cleared out of danger by Massieri. Now Donovan. On the sidewall. Has an option in Madzi and gives to him. Madzi walking the blue line, draws a couple defenders. Now he'll dive down low. Madzi, the defenseman behind the net, feeds back Donovan. Donovan at the blue line, just keeps it alive. Madzi thinking shot, and then just a miscommunication between Colby Donovan and Cole Madzi results in New Jersey dumping it down.
There were a couple of whacks at the puck and then blue paint down low from Oldham and Mastroni. They're not normally the kind of players in the archetype that you would think setting a screen in front because they're both a bit undersized, but it's their scrappiness that makes them so valuable down there.
Here's Lefkoff overskating the puck. Looking to clear is TJ Stone. He does. 50 seconds to go on the power play. Looks like someone's lost a piece of lumber deep in the Danbury zone. Not sure who that belongs to. Meanwhile, it's Misha Mashar cutting through a pair of defenders, gaining the zone, giving to Nick Cullinan. Cullinan, power move, had it roll off his stick, and the Titans clear once again.
It looked like getting a small piece of that was TJ Stone as he was trying to make his way across the end line. Stone has long reach and he did every bit of it.
Nikita Kovalev, nice move to maintain possession of the puck. Stops, looks for an option. Gives across to Weber. Dylan Weber scores! A power play goal! It's 2-0 Danbury!
How about that pass from one side of the ice to the other? Believe that was Cullinan making that feed once again from the far side circle to Weber. He's the dishmaster today.
Oh, he can put it in the back of the net. He can help his friends put it in the back of the net as well. And Dylan Weber, who's a right-handed shot, gets that tape to tape, and there isn't a Titan within 5 feet of him.
He's got all the time in the world to sit there on the near side circle, which is good because he did fumble with it for just a moment. The pass was behind him. He had to corral it, and that time and the positioning of it on his back foot allows him to really get his weight behind that one, and he blisters a shot underneath the glove of Goodson. That's a terrific play.
Yeah, right through the 6-hole on Grant Goodson. And Dylan Weber, 6'2". That's a lot of leverage you can get into a shot when you can load up like that. Looking to respond are the Titans. Right back the other way. Shot on by Cameron Pape. Kick saved by Nate Hadley. Wallace for Drew Goodman, getting his first shift of the afternoon. Goodman again. Far side off the stick of Bepko. This will roll wide of the cage. Goodson out to play it. He can't clear. At the point, Jamison Bain will send it down low. Comes right back his way. Pape can't get it out of the zone. His teammates do. And now it's Joe Malillo. Flipping one in on goal. Hadley sees this go in and out of his glove. Bain will reverse for Westendorf. And Wesley Westendorf has plenty of time to break out. Eventually shovels one over far side. Normally you don't have that much time on the breakout. Madigan has this puck go over his stick. Oldham got a stick on it, so no icing on the play as Jamison Bain wraps one around the roulette wheel. Getting there's number 30, Jardine. Still looks strange to me.
It does.
Jardine at the point. This one gets blocked in front. Lost most of its momentum, and wearing that one's Jamison Bain. Now another shot off the stick of Bain out of play. Face-off remains in the Danbury end with 6:15 to go in the first.
Nick Byron was the one with his motor running on the forecheck that generated a bit of pressure for the Titans defensively. He's able to try to start to get in the grill of the Danbury defense and start to rush their decision-making. Titans trying to look for a jolt. They're down by 2. They're trying to look for who's going to be the spark plug and get their team back into it. And Byron with a couple of good energy plays to get the Titans bench alive.
I completely agree with you there. And you've seen Andre Kapranov's squad already starting to up the physical play. Sure, they haven't been able to get one behind Hadley yet, but to your point, do something to change the momentum. Here's Mastroni, flipped up and nearly caught by Tanner Smith, but Smith was always more of a first baseman than an outfielder, so.
Well, yeah, Jake Spangler with the assist on that one. It popped up into the air, and he caught the rebound. So
not bad. I think that's worth a point. Weber, Mastroni, Donovan up front for the Tricks. Face-off one by New Jersey, now turned over. Weber feeds Donovan a shot, and he ripped it wide.
I think Goodson might have gotten a little piece of that with the heel of his stick there.
Just barely. And then it took a real interesting bounce off the lip of the boards. It actually landed back in the slot. High off the boards once again. Too short was Donovan. 2-on-2 back into the Danbury zone. A shot gets deflected wide off the stick of Bacon. Donovan looking to clear. Holding the blue line is Hagley. Now Mastroni. Gonzalez Helm takes it away. You figure Gonzalez Helm's going to want to get something going back. He was in the penalty box for that last Danbury goal.
Trying to look for retribution a bit, trying to get back into the good graces of the coaching staff. And right now, the difference is that the shooting lanes just aren't as open for New Jersey as they are for Danbury. Danbury doing a good job of getting their sticks so that Hadley doesn't have to feel as much rubber.
You know, and that was taking a look at yesterday's game. I suppose if there's one good thing that you can talk about, it's the fact that Danbury kept a majority of the shots to the outside. Here's Lefkoff in front doing the splits. Goodson, great save.
Lefkoff taking a chance as a defenseman in down low, joining the rush.
Now Brown sends it back in. Casey, while the puck was going down the ice, I noticed that there were lots of players talking. I couldn't quite see what they were really going on about.
Oh, it's just a little bit of physicality. Oh boy, there's a turnover in front.
Goodson getting a little antsy. Here's Cullinan picking it up and sends it wide.
You don't see normally a forward get a piece of it like that. The goaltender a bit too quick.
Now Cullinan again can't get a handle on it. Jonah Sabatini sends it all the way down, but a nice hustle by Cafaro will cancel out the icing call. Connor Brown goes along for Westendorf, and Westendorf again will have a bit of time.
Now going back to that play with Cullinan chopping at Goodson, that's the kind of play where if Goodson has control of the puck cleanly, that would cause some physicality after the whistle, because you don't like that right there. Say if a player in Pepco took a swing at Goodson, that would cause some pushing and shoving, some looking for retaliation. But since Cullinan gets all puck with the stick like that, you very rarely see it like that.
No, Goodson was playing with fire there as he didn't have his glove over the puck. It was almost like he was expecting Cullinan to peel off. You know, expect the whistle, peel off, you know, and not play hard-nosed hockey.
Taking a play for granted.
Exactly, but Nick Cullinan, he plays until the whistle blows and nearly finds one in the back of the net.
He had a couple of chances because no one came down to mark him in front of the Titans' net.
That's a great point. It was a Cade Bacon shot from the point. That one was a Bryce Wallace shot, but the Bacon shot from the point, Cullinan gets a stick on it for the deflection, and he's nearly able to corral the rebound as well without a defender in sight. 3:40 to go in the first. Westendorf on this draw against Melillo. Melillo with a face-off win, and New Jersey's able to clear. Wallace will chase after this. Jake Spangler getting on his horse. Bain off the boards and not out. Cameron Pape keeps it alive. Now Wallace again. And Bryce Wallace has really become one of the more trusted defenders here in Danbury. Last year he played one game with the Danbury Colonials as a nice hit thrown there. but plays one game with the Colonials. He plays, high school hockey for Danbury, Bethel, and Brookfield, and now here he is being a regular contributor.
He is, and I think a lot of it was just learning to grow into his body a bit. He's 5'11", 185, and part of being a good stay-at-home defenseman is knowing how to close out the front of your net and run guys along the boards. So Wallace has gotten a little quicker, read the angles a little better, and he's taking the body more. He's doing the little things right.
Danbury forces a turnover behind the net. It's Turainen to Oldham, a blind backhand pass to nobody in particular gets flexed away. Now Turainen lost the handle on that in the slot. Cycled around by O'Neill. Jardine is there. He gets it as far as the red line. And big Cade Bacon will collect in his own end. Turned over and nearly onto the stick of O'Neill. Bacon will get a second opportunity to get it out, and he does. Now Oldham. 1-on-4 into the zone, manages to keep possession of the puck. He finds Turainen. Mastroni canceled off by Byron. Flipped up. This time it stays in play. Kovalev back for Bacon. Along for Madzi, and he'll shovel it back down into the near side corner with under 2 to play in the first. And
the Hat-Tricks are content dumping the puck in deep and going to work in the corners because right now they're winning a lot of those board battles.
I think that's the biggest difference over the course of 24 hours is being able to get those pucks. Here is Donovan stepping into the slot, knocked off of his stick. Reaching for it was Weber, knocked away by O'Neill, and now Avazov to the outside will send it down deep. Hadley sees this roll up to the side of his cage. He doesn't want to take a chance. Faceoff will be to his right with 90 ticks to go.
Not only are they winning the board battles, but how often do you see at 5-on-5 a player looping from the near side midboards all the way to the top of the slot and taking 4 strides towards the net? Someone's got to take a step up and put Donovan on his tuchus in that particular scenario.
That's a great point, and right now New Jersey's defense is doing more standing around, it seems, at least to my eyes. Off the draw, it's Lefkoff for Danbury.
I find that surprising, only just because Jersey is a speedy team.
They're a speedy team, but again, you had mentioned it earlier. It's a sprint, not a marathon right now. Sent in front. Machar sends one wide.
Machar had his stick tied up in the stick of Justin Heiler on that play. That's what I mean. Someone needs to step up and take the body in the slot. Great play by Heiler.
They're listening to you. Machar now behind the net. Under a minute to play in the first. We have a whistle. And has the net come off of its moorings? Yes, it has, the far side.
Yes. Well, both of them, it looks like, need to be adjusted.
There's a shocker.
That net has come off a lot in recent weeks, and unfortunately that breaks up a very good offensive shift for Danbury. They were going back to work.
Think they could just super glue it down there?
You would think.
Here's Cullinan, a rising shot. Didn't miss by much. Brown keeps it alive at the blue line. Swung around by Machar. Now Cullinan behind the cage. Sent in front for Machar out of his reach. Brown will send it back down for Cullinan with 42 to go in the period. Muscled along by Philip Doucette. Flipped up out of the zone off the glove of Avazov. No hand pass on the play. And so the Titans come in 2-on-2. Now Avazov on his backhand. Couldn't take the shot. Gets the puck back. Sent across. They score! Philip Doucette with 24.2 seconds to go. And once again, we've got a 1-goal game. It's 2-1.
Doucette and Avazov go to work in the attacking zone, and that's the kind of shift that they needed. They're lifting sticks. They're chasing after the puck carrier. Avazov is able to get the initial chance and then takes the puck away behind the end line to set up Doucette. That's a terrific move by a skilled player. And what did we say at the top of the broadcast, Zach? Avazov can make a play at the drop of a hat.
A great example of that for Doucette. It's his 14th goal of the season, and perhaps more importantly, it gives New Jersey some momentum with only 24 seconds. Now make it 21 seconds remaining in the period.
And Avazov is able to increase his lead in terms of leading scorer on the team, and that's his 52nd point of the season. What a campaign he's had in just 28 games, no less.
I think that's good.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, no, I think that's all right. Another face-off in the neutral zone, 18 to go. Dylan Weber forcing all sorts of trouble on Justin Heiler. Weber's able to get it in. 10 seconds to go in the period. Wrapped around the boards. Wallace will chase after it. 3 seconds to go. And a late goal by New Jersey cuts the lead in half at the end of...
I I don't want to say.
They're a Bay Stater.
A base.
You're right. And for those of you listening at home, you know he's right. But it's a Bay Stater.
There you go. What is a New Yorker then? An Empire Stater?
No. It's similar to the Massachusetts thing we just said.
Okay.
Back underway as this puck gets flipped into the Danbury bench. All right, we've annoyed 2 states already. Who else do we want to hit?
Well, we haven't touched on New Jersey yet. That is the team that they're playing against. And I've seen The Sopranos. I wouldn't want to make anyone from New Jersey angry anyway.
You know what state I'm from. Still the best state in the union. Garden State. You give me a line about petrochemical state, I'm going to have words. All right, so 15 seconds in, we've now annoyed 3 states. We'll see how this keeps going.
We're on a good average right now. That's a state per 5 seconds.
Yeah, no, we're really knocking them out of the park here. And we spoke about Alaska last time, too. Here's Nikita Kovalev, a nutmegger himself.
Alaska, meanwhile, will be allowing fans at their Kenai River Brown Bears game starting this month.
Are they really?
They are, so they can halt some of their arduous road trips from up there in the peninsula down to continental United States.
This puck gets deflected out of play. I mean, I've only been to Alaska once. I hope I get to do it again. It's beautiful.
I have never been.
Oh, it was fantastic. We went to Juneau, the only U.S. capital not accessible by road. We were supposed to go to Skagway, but Skagway's at the end of about a 30-mile fjord. And when we were up there were 70-knot winds. So our captain said, no, we're not doing that. Instead, we popped into a little town called Haines, population 2,400.
You'll have to get the Alaskan Connor Brown, who's out of there on the ice right now, to give you a private tour.
I'm okay with that. Native of Anchorage himself. And, of course, Alaska, both the University of Alaska Anchorage and the University of Alaska Fairbanks, 2 pretty storied college hockey programs.
Is Fairbanks the one with that great 2000s era game intro with the polar bear that attacks the arena?
I believe no, because Fairbanks is going to be the Nanooks. I think that's going to be Alaska Anchorage the Seawolves, where, yes, their mascot ate everybody. It was hilarious. I like that. I'm glad that you brought that up. I hadn't thought about that in a while.
There is nothing better in sports than cheesy 90s, 2000s era intros.
Here come the Titans. Losing a handle on the puck was Brett Bell.
The best one in my mind is the Florida Panthers, where they go to a punk rock version of In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, and it's Olli Jokinen awkwardly beckoning Alex Ald to come join him, and there's just 2 very unthreatening men in khakis and polos.
Wonder, did they throw any rats during this time?
Not in this one.
Heiler a shot. That's deflected. Ends up on the side of the cage. Connor Lefkoff is dragging along Nate Byron. Puck comes out.
Byron was on top of the puck, and Lefkoff gives a swing at him like, you're fair game if you're on top of the puck. I need to get to that.
Lefkoff had to drag him around for a bit as well. We have a whistle. We have a penalty. And I believe this will go against New Jersey.
Yep, a whack after the fact.
It will be Brett Bell going to the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking as he got up high on Nate Mastroni. And now we get to see Danbury's power play again. They're 1 for 2 so far, and they've used the time wisely.
It's their zone entries that have been their strength, because once they get into the zone, they really get clicking. So for New Jersey, it's all about getting this face-off, 1, down the length of the ice, and setting up shop, getting more aggressive at their own blue line or even in the red line, because you want to make sure that those zone entries are slowed or run against the boards, because right now space is just a bit too open for them.
And when it comes to zone entries, New Jersey is not able right now to send Danbury to the outside. Danbury, doesn't matter if they're going down the center of the ice or along the boards, they're able to break in. Bit of a delay here as the penalty time has yet to go up on the scoreboard. It'll be Cullinan, Weber, and Mashar up front, Lefkoff and Kovalev on the points. Now the time's up there, and now we can get back to it. Jules Jardine on the draw for New Jersey. It's 1 back, but a false start results in a 5-yard penalty, and we get to do it all over again.
The power play time is incorrect up there. They've wasted 3 seconds off the clock.
Let's see if they just tell the scorer's table to hold it for 3 seconds. And that seems to be what they're doing as the clock hasn't started. Now it does. All right. Back to hockey as this shot gets deflected out of play. Nikita Kovalev with the shot and Ion Gonzalez Helm getting in the way.
You've got a lot of the big guns out there for the Danbury Junior Hat-Tricks. You keep that trio together of Cullinan, Mashar, and Kovalev, but you also have Dylan Weber out there as the extra forward, and he scored the power play goal earlier, the beneficiary of a great pass from Kovalev.
It's Kovalev at the blue line. D across for Lefkoff goes out of the zone. And Weber can use his body as well in front of a net. You were talking about setting up screens before. He certainly has the frame to do it. Here's Mashar working in the corner. 25 seconds already gone by on this power play. Mashara's shot, that pinballs its way towards Goodson, who gets a glove on it, and a face-off to his left.
Jonas Sabatini edges off of him there, and he allows him a bit of open space to skate up in front of the netminder. It's similar to what Connor Lefkoff did earlier, but the difference is that Sabatini is allowing him move freely along the boards. I'd like to see him maybe take a step up and try to take the body along the wall and hurry the decision-making, or at least take a step up and get your stick down on the ice and break up that pass to the slot that right now is wide open.
That lane has been open. Here's Cullinan keeping it alive at the blue line. Gets around a pair of defenders. Nick Cullinan across for Kovalev. Kovalev's pass intended for Lefkoff, poked away. And Lefkoff will have to regroup in his own end.
That's the kind of pressure I'd like to see from Avasov. He's taking a step up on the puck carrier and gets his stick on the puck. That's a great job of breaking that up.
Now Avasov causing more trouble for Danbury in the Zamboni corner. He battles with Connor Lefkoff. Weber will take Avasov down to the ice. Those two cancel out. And 4-on-3 comes Danbury over the red line. Cullinan stops, chips across for Kovalev. Kovalev tries feeding Mashar in front. Again, New Jersey getting their stick in the passing lane, and it's another turnover.
That time it's Gonzalez Helm. That's a better job. They're adjusting and they're learning, and that's what you have to do over the course of a game. You have to read what the opposition gives you.
Kovalev thought that he could soccer one along for Cullinan. Now Weber for Cullinan, and Danbury comes 3-on-3 into the New Jersey zone. Cullinan avoids most of a hip check from Gonzalez Helm. On a tour of the offensive zone, he has the puck back at the blue line. 18 seconds to go. Cullinan's shot deflects out of play, and Danbury at the very least will get an offensive zone face-off. 15 to go on their third power play.
Cullinan never stops skating, it seems like. Whenever the puck is on his stick, he's comfortable skating from side to side, playing on every side of the ice, and he's always has his head up while he's doing it. It's what makes him so valuable on a power play. You never want him to leave the ice.
I think my legs would have fallen off by now. Here's Madigan, a shot gloved by Goodson, as Kyle Madigan records his first shot on goal for the game, and it's from a prime scoring area.
It is. Right off the faceoff, he's using a New Jersey Titan as a screen. Nate Baron was right in front of his netminder, and Goodson spots that through a set of legs.
Another draw. Madigan again with the puck. 10 to go with the man advantage. Madigan swings one down to Ryan and picks it up behind the cage, gives to Madigan. Madigan scores! Kyle Madigan! A power play goal, 3-1 Danbury.
You were just saying on the previous shift, Zach, how that area is a high-danger scoring chance for Kyle Madigan. He's in a similar spot. If anything, he's closer to the boards on that chance than he was right off the faceoff. But he takes the pass from behind the end line from Matti Torianen, and he's able to wire that one at the short side, too. He beats him high glove. That's a picture-perfect shot, exactly where he wanted that to be.
Based off of Goodson's reaction, I wonder if it was his own defender that screened him, because Kyle Madigan has a great shot, but Goodson, if he has a clean look at that, I think he has a much higher percentage of making the save.
But that's Madigan right where he wants to be, though. He likes pulling the trigger from that particular spot on the ice. He took the shot initially on the shift before. And if it doesn't work the first time, why not try it a second time? If at first you do not succeed, try again.
Well, he tried, and scored his 9th goal of the season, and Danbury's been able to restore that 2-goal lead. And that's how you figure things out. When you give up that goal late in the first, you better score to begin the second.
And we were talking about how it was, you never want Cullinan to leave the ice, but Matti Torianen plays a very similar role to Cullinan. He's able to spread the puck so well from behind the end line, so they gave him all the space that he wanted from Gretzky's office, really, behind the net. So he takes a couple steps to his left into the corner and sets a man up in front.
Melillo cancels out Mastroni. Weber in support for the home team. Sends it back into the corner, and now Colby Donovan. Donovan, top of the circle, sends one through the slot, nobody home. Keeping it alive is Lefkoff. Now Lefkoff at the far hashes. His shot goes off the side of the cage. Weber. Mastroni has it roll off of his stick, and the Titans can clear.
Mastroni muscled a bit too much on that puck, trying to cut to the slot area.
It's frustrating because, again, lots of open ice there. Nate Mastroni, he only has 2 goals this season. His most recent one coming against the Generals. That was the second of 2 goals that Danbury scored. But, gosh, you love having those opportunities. Here's Colby Donovan with an opportunity of his own. Puck on his backhand as he's in the far corner. Cycled along for Westendorf, and he leaves it further for Mastroni. Getting there first is Melillo. He's unable to clear. Donovan holding the puck along the wall. Chipped up in the air. Bryce Wallace didn't know where it was. And Danbury will change. Hard around the wall, off the stick of Cafaro and into the Danbury zone.
Awkward collision there behind the bench. That was Jamison Bain going headlong into the boards.
And that was Bepko, who fell down just moments after. Now Bepko back up to his skates, gets the puck out of the zone. Gonzalez Helm will pick up in his own end. Under some pressure. Bouncing puck. Bain had his skate fail him.
Yeah, he's skating off.
Passed in front and unable to take the shot on goal was Gonzalez Helm. Loose puck in the blue paint, gets out of danger. A New Jersey Titan is injured on the play. That's Brett Bell behind the net. And gosh, you know, for a bunch of hockey players, it seems like everybody's slipping and sliding right now.
Well, on the first initial chance there, it was Bain that skated off because he blew a tire for a second time in the neutral zone. His edge failed him, so he skated off pointing to his boot saying, I need to get this fixed. And then in the same spot on the ice behind the end line, you have Bell taking a tumble. He just lost his footing. It slipped right out from underneath him, and he went feet first into the boards, and he really got dinged up on that one. He'll get a look on the bench.
Training staff here at Danbury Arena will take a look at him. It looks like it's his left leg that he's favoring, but we don't want to certainly speculate. 7 minutes gone by in the second. Danbury's regained their 2-goal lead. Here's Tanner Smith, lost possession. Brandon Avazov gets it as far as the red line. Bacon puts it right back onto his stick. Now Avazov trying to go inside out on Cade Bacon, gets the puck back. Avazov wraps around the net, saved by Hadley. There's the whistle, and the faceoff will be to Hadley's right.
Hadley is very difficult to beat on those wraparound chances, perhaps more difficult than your average NA3HL goaltender because Hadley is so long-legged. He's 6'2", and he's able to hug post to post so easily. He doesn't have to really move from side to side. His legs are always covering the net mouth.
Yeah, compare him to, say, a goaltender from last year in Sam Booz, who did not have that size, and, well, accordingly, he let in a couple wraparounds.
Well, even his backup here today, Landon Palmer, is 3 inches shorter, and sometimes that can make all the difference.
Icing is called against Danbury. You saw how the puck skipped out of that corner. Luckily for the Titans, it wasn't while play was actually live.
All those bounces can come back to bite you. That came into play in the pro season last year when the Danbury hat tricks against the Elmira Enforcers in the Federal Prospects Hockey League.
Carter Shinkarik, the game-winning goal, the boards with the assist. I still remember Elmira's bench after that. They were not happy campers.
Oh, no. How could you be when the elements decide whether you win or lose? We did away with non-universal hockey rinks in the old Boston Garden or old Madhouse on Madison in Chicago.
Boston Garden is the right example to bring up because the NHL rink size is 200 feet. Boston Garden, I believe, was 185.
That's correct, and the Madhouse on Madison was wider by comparison. They added more of a European feel to it so that it was wider, and the fans are hanging right over the stands in that one.
Interesting. Although my favorite rink dimension, as Mastroni's shot goes off the legs of Massieri and wide, but my favorite rink is the Finnish rink because it's just as wide as an NHL. Or no, it's 7.5 feet wider. Same length as the NHL rink, not as wide as the Olympic rink,
A happy medium.
Yeah, well, why it exists, I don't know, but icing's called against New Jersey. 8.5 gone by in the second. Another faceoff coming up in the Titans' end.
And you're able to build an identity around those. It's like in baseball how you're able to kind of form either pitchers' parks or hitters' parks depending on what kind of team that you want to be. The Yankees are the Bronx Bombers, and they have some of the shallowest fences in the league. Let's call it what it is. They're a home run hitting team, so they build a park that is for home run hitters.
Wallace's shot from the point. Another shot on goal. Goodson makes 2 saves. And actually, Yankee Stadium needed to be grandfathered in because that short right field porch is, it doesn't meet regulations. MLB let them get away with it because, well, they're the Yankees.
Well, exactly. I mean, if you were building a stadium right now, would you build anything that looks like what Fenway Park looks like right now?
Of course not. Mastrone's come in off sides. Faceoff will be in the neutral zone. 9 minutes gone by in the second.
Meanwhile, speaking of new stadiums that are getting formed, I mean, Citi Field, take a look at what it looked like just 10 years ago when it had the Great Wall of Flushing out in left field. You want to build a team that, all right, pitching's going to be our identity, so we're going to make sure that no one hits a home run ever.
Let's just send, you know what, 420 feet dead center? Now keep going.
Pretty sure in 2009, David Wright was the home run leader for the New York Mets with 12. That year, like Angel Pagan is second, and Angel Pagan should never be your second best home run hitter. It was just a wacky time, and that's what you can do. I think you should bring that back for hockey.
Here's Doucette, the lone goal scorer for New Jersey, sending one across the slot, ends up in front of Hadley. He gets a glove on it.
No one really got a stick on that. It just kept getting pushed and pushed towards the net. It went off of the skates of Avazov toward Hadley. Curious if that had squeaked under Hadley's pads, would they have ruled that a good goal? Because it wasn't technically a kicking motion, but it did go off his boot.
Well, as long as the referee doesn't detect it, and especially with that much traffic in front of the net, I think that would have stood. Avazov and Doucette, no coincidence that we have said their names plenty. They are 1 and 2 in New Jersey scoring. Brandon Avazov, 23 goals, now 29 assists, good for 52 points. Philip Doucette, 14 goals, 17 assists, 31 points. And perhaps that's one of the weaknesses of this New Jersey team. They only have 6 players in double digits with points. Shot on, saved by Goodson off the stick of Oldham.
Well, depth is so important at this level.
It really is. Here's Melillo to the outside. Bit handcuffed on the shot with Spangler. Madigan will pick it up. He has the most recent goal in this game. Madigan right at the Western Junior Colonials logo at center ice. Lost possession. Cole Madzi there to pick it up as we're now officially halfway through this game.
It's always good to see the Western Junior Colonials in action, and there's a lot of exciting things going on in terms of junior hockey at Danbury Arena.
Oh, junior hockey, certainly, but now at the youth level as well, as here's Gonzalez Helm sent across, and then the pass for Avazov could not be completed. Avazov picks it up, top of the slot. His shot goes wide. Avazov again picks up his own rebound. Cycles along for Doucette. Now Avazov, snapshot, saved by Hadley. He swings at it, misses. Danbury's able to clear it all the way down, and this will go on goal, so no icing on the play.
Uh-oh.
Now a turnover, backhand shot by Goodman. And Goodson got it with his backside.
He left it behind his net. It took a lively bounce off of the end boards.
Avazov across for Gonzalez Helm, and then Gonzalez Helm takes a huge hit by Wesley Westendorf. That's going to result in a penalty, as Westendorf caught Gonzalez Helm unaware, and it will be a boarding call.
What a helter-skelter shift that is for the junior hat-tricks. First, they get that chance at the near side post. Goodson leaves it back. They're trying to leave it for his defender. It pops right back out in front. And Goodman had a prime opportunity. Goodson just got it. It looked like with his hip. He wasn't square to that shot. He was just diving headlong towards the puck. And meanwhile, the Titans are able to pick the puck back up, carry it all the way down the length of the ice on a 3-on-1 chance the other way, and then a hard hit in the corner. Westendorf still pleading his case, but he went barreling.
He really did, and you can call it boarding, you can call it charging, either way. Call it a New Jersey power play. It will be their second of the afternoon.
Well, speaking of calls that could have gone either way, what about the Tanev hit that we were just looking at in the intermission last night in the Pittsburgh Penguins-Boston Bruins game?
That's a great example because, you know, the hit itself might be shoulder on shoulder, but there's more to a hit than just that.
Absolutely. Location plays almost 90% of whether or not it gets called.
Here's Colby Donovan blowing a tire behind the New Jersey net. 20 seconds gone by on the Titans power play as it's shuttled up ahead for O'Neal. Check that, Brett Bell with the puck. Good to see Bell back on the ice after he was shaken up a couple minutes ago.
Had to take a couple shifts off, but he popped right back up onto the bench. He didn't want any attention.
He's a hockey player. Here's Jardine on the power play. Shot off the stick. Masiri gets deflected out of play. And we'll get some fresh legs on the ice for both these teams. But getting back to the junior programs here at the Danbury Arena, now the youth programs as well.
You have the Danbury Hat-Tricks forming all new youth programs for both boys and girls. Most excited really about the girls' elite hockey program because it's going to be revolutionary in developing the next wave of girls hockey players. You've got the Connecticut Whale of the National Women's Hockey League in this building, so it's great to build that next generation, and you see Whale forward Alyssa Wolfeiler giving private lessons out of Danbury Arena here, so it's just a very exciting time. You've got Colton Orr, former New York Ranger and head coach of the Whale, leading that program. Lou Petitella, who is a longtime head coach for the Brewster Lady Bulldogs and lead youth hockey instructor for the New York Rangers. There are some great people leading this organization.
You know, and I'm glad that you highlighted the girls team that's going to be started here because those women certainly serve as an inspiration for all hockey players.
Absolutely.
And both Danbury and Long Beach were lucky enough before their last game, the Whale actually had a practice. And these girls, ponytails coming out of their helmets, are flying around the ice. They're the top level of hockey players in the world.
Absolutely. The NWHL is going to be resetting its Isabel Cup semifinal and final on March 26th and 27th on NBC Sports. That's going to be a really exciting thing for Connecticut hockey fans to take a look at because the Whale are primed for a chance at the Cup.
And what a nice, Danbury, they've won one championship here. That was the Danbury Whalers almost 10 years ago now. As that shot rings off the iron.
That's the loudest crossbar I've heard in this building.
Yeah, usually the nets aren't that loud. Kovalev shorthanded the other way. Can't get around a defender without losing the puck. Goodson sends it into the corner. 20 seconds to go on New Jersey's power play. But I was really struck by these junior players. Obviously, everybody on the ice here wants to play in the NHL. And here they are like little kids again in the corner watching these players zip around the ice.
Oh, sure. One more point as far as the Whale go in terms of how easy they are to root for. There's a lot of players that are local products. Shannon Doyle is a teacher at Greenwich Day School for her day job, and she's the captain of the team. Melissa Samaskevich was a Quinnipiac grad, was a captain there a couple of years ago and part of Team USA. There's a lot of great local players that Connecticut fans can root for.
You have the women's team at Quinnipiac. Sacred Heart has a women's team.
Hockey is growing at every level for every gender in this state. It really is very impressive. They're trying to build it into what Massachusetts and Minnesota are regarded as.
Coming back the other way, Hadley makes the save. Nice power move put on by Byron. Nearly results in a goal. Nate Mastroni at the red line avoids a check from Gonzalez Helm. Good to see him back on the ice. Offsides is called against Danbury with 6:20 to go in the middle frame.
I think it actually might have been Avasov making that power move on Hadley, and Avasov has been playing bully ball all afternoon. He really is powering his way through the Danbury defense.
Avasov has already been tendered by the by the New Jersey Titans of the NAHL.
And why not? He's been so impressive all season long. He was bound to get a look. There's a couple of Danbury junior hat-tricks that are going to get looks as well. Nick Cullinan has been tendered for the NAHL team in Danbury. Nikita Kovalev is going to be another one of those guys that gets a look.
Oh, he'll certainly get a look. And remember, at the beginning of the year, it was Brandon Cope who started up with the junior hat-tricks of the NAHL. Cope not dressed for this afternoon's game as Bryce Wallace chips it along the boards, intended for Madigan, stolen away by O'Neal. Now TJ Stone. Slow breakout results in a turnover. Cullinan kicks one towards goal. Not sure if that was the plan. Goodson sends it into the corner. Kovalev picks it up. An extended offensive shift for the junior hat-tricks. Cullinan in the near side corner. Shoved up against the wall, dumped down to the ice by Stone. He's back up to his skates. We have a whistle and a hand pass and a face-off coming outside of the zone.
Yeah, while he was down there on the ice, he pawed at the puck and was sliding it over to the far side corner.
Nice move if you can get away with it.
That's gamesmanship.
Exactly. Couldn't get away with it. You know, everybody was starting to line up for a face-off in the Jersey zone. It's a defensive zone face-off, or rather it's a neutral zone face-off. The defensive team, hand pass in your own end. What do I know? Off the draw, it's taken by Brett Bell. Well, everybody who's been shaken up has been able to get themselves back on the ice.
It's a physical afternoon. Nothing has been dirty so far on either side, so it's just hard-hitting action. And for 12:30 in the afternoon for your puck drop, too, after playing the night before. It's been good pace to this game.
Bounced in on goal. Goodson will hold on. A little pushing and shoving after the whistle. Perhaps philosophical differences.
Giuseppe Bianco is there getting mixed up in the blue paint, and we haven't seen too much of Bianco in this afternoon. I believe this is his first shift of the contest. He's technically the 13th forward dressed.
Well, Bianco will stay out there with Bepko and Westendorf. Bacon and Madsey on the point for an offensive zone face-off and under 5 minutes to play in the second. Westendorf with a face-off win. It's up against the wall. Massiri trying to get a handle on it. Dumped down from behind. This is going to result in a penalty. And for a line of Westendorf, Bepko, and Bianco, perhaps you're not expecting them to light up the lamp, but with 4:49 to go in the second period, they've now given Danbury their fourth power play of the afternoon.
Look, again, it's the little things that you want from your depth guys, and even though you're only out there for a couple of seconds really on that particular shift, you're along the boards, you're battling for the puck, and you draw the penalty. That's exactly what you want, and now that allows open space for the top line guys as they send back out Weber, Kovalev, Cullinan, and Mashar.
And, you know, you had mentioned depth a couple minutes ago. That's really the difference between the top-level teams and the ones just treading water. We'll do the face-off to Goodson's right. Penalty time has still not come up on the board. Seems to be a familiar refrain these days.
Well, give him a little bit of slack here. You've got a couple of scratches trying to figure out how to work an arena scoreboard in there.
Connor Lefkoff could figure it out, and he's on the ice.
Well, Lefkoff has worked in the arena before. You've got a rotation of guys coming scratch and weren't learning the box.
Well, you know, we saw this in the last home game. Connor Lefkoff coming over to the box to actually tell them, no, you want to press this, there you go.
He's a pro. He can take my job.
Perfect. Do we want to bring him up here? In front, Cullinan gets robbed by Goodson. What a save, Grant Goodson.
Down on all fours to make that save, extending his left arm, and he gets a piece of his catching glove on it. What a stop that is.
Holy cow. Cullinan gets robbed. Danbury back into the offensive zone. It's Cullinan again, this time wrapping one around the boards over the stick of Mashar. Kovalev pinching in, goes back to Mashar, passed in front, can't complete with Cullinan. Eventually Weber poked at it, but Grant Goodson down in the butterfly makes the save. But my goodness, what a save on Nick Cullinan.
And that second save, too, is just as impressive because, again, he's moving from that right post to the left. The Hat-Tricks are trying to open up that back door, and Goodson says no.
Grant Goodson, a native of St. Louis, Missouri, 6 foot, even 140 pounds, light for a goalie, but hey, it worked out well for him being able to move so quickly post to post.
Well, hey, if he wants a spot on the Blues, he's going to have to wait 6 years because they just re-signed Jordan Binnington.
To a big contract, too.
Mm-hmm.
Who's their backup now? Is that Ville Husso?
Well, they traded Jake Allen all the way down there, so they've kind of had a rotation of guys filling in as the blue liner. Allen went to go be part of one of the most expensive goalie tandems in the league up in Montreal.
Indeed. Here is Cullinan getting through some defenders. Sharp angle attempt. Goodson seals off the post. 45 to go in the Danbury power play. It's their fourth of the afternoon. They're 2 for 3 so far. Kovalev a shot. Goodson sends it to the corner. Cheers coming up from the New Jersey bench, but they're unable to clear just quite yet. Cullinan can't handle the pass back to the point. And Danbury's got 30 seconds to go. Here's Lefkoff. Stood up by Gonzalez Helm. Now a pass, or rather a puck comes across the slot. Goodson had a defender fall down on his lap. That's a real mess in front of the net there. Cleared out once again, and that should do it for the New Jersey penalty.
Goodson bore the brunt of that hit in his own blue paint there, as that was his own friendly Titan coming down right on top of him, and he's in a full split while he's doing that. It's just an easy way to pull a groin.
Yeah, no, I was worried about that because Goodson stayed down at least for a moment. As coming back the other way is Brandon Avazov. He sends one through the slot off the stick of Hagley. New Jersey getting a bit more aggressive in their forecheck as they send two guys below the goal line. Now on the half wall, miscommunication. Tarainen's able to clear. Madigan will chase after it. Sabatini goes across for Jardine with 2:20 to go in the period. Wallace would have been beaten to the puck by Bell, so Hadley comes out. Now Bell passed in front, and all alone was Hagley. Just couldn't direct it to his stick. But George Hagley was wide open there.
It was able to sneak in past the defense. So much attention was being paid towards the boards. He was left all alone in the slot. Pass was just behind him.
We mentioned Avazov and Doucette as being 1 and 2 in scoring. Brett Bell's right there. He's number 3.
And you can see why. He's keeping his feet moving, and he's got great vision of the ice while he's out there.
Two pretty evenly matched teams, and Casey, it feels like a pretty evenly matched game right now. Even though it's a 2-goal advantage towards Danbury, New Jersey, they're not going away.
Jersey is starting to tighten things up defensively, and they're getting a lot of help from their goaltender, Grant Goodson, to keep them in the game. Now it's all about using those defensive stops as a spark plug and a jump to get into the other end of the ice. And right now, it's been individual efforts for New Jersey. Avasov carrying it in, Bell carrying it in. You want to see more of a cohesive unit. This is a good opportunity for the Titans when they get these offensive zone faceoffs to cycle the puck and play 5-on-5 hockey, not 1-on-5 hockey.
Joe Melillo on the draw. Colby Donovan with the face-off win. Cameron Pape trying to come up with the puck. Unable to do so. Donovan will take it the other way. Donovan avoids most of a check from Gonzalez Helm. Boy, Gonzalez Helm really seems to be the linchpin of this New Jersey defense.
And why not? He's got such a great body on him for an NA3HL player. He's got great reach. He's mobile for a defenseman. He's the kind of archetypal player that you want on the back end anchoring things.
Oh, he's 6 foot. What is it with these 6'6" guys?
There's a lot of big bodies out there. We haven't seen too much of Cade Bacon since the first period, but he's just as tall out there.
I remember when 6'2", 6'3" was considered big.
Oh, at times they are a changing, Zach.
I don't like it.
Especially in the goaltending department. You see a lot of bigger goalies out there now.
Well, yeah, you take a look at someone like Darren Pang, who put together a pretty respectable NHL career. Who knows if he even gets a look these days.
Oh, and as late as the late 2000s, the best goaltenders in the league were Henrik Lundqvist and Tim Thomas, and even Martin Brodeur wasn't even that big. And then all of a sudden, the Tampa Bay Lightning, I think, were at the forefront of this because they brought in Anders Lindback and Ben Bishop into the world. And the two of them...
Still the tallest tandem.
I mean, that was just unbelievable how tall they were when they came into the league, and they changed the game.
Well, Bishop's what, 6'6", 6'5"?
I think taller than that. I think he's 6'7", 6'8".
Lindback
was 6'7".
Yes, that one I knew. Is this one bounces in on goal. Rebound comes out, a shot, and it just goes wide off the stick of Gonzalez Helm. And that's how we finish the second period. The Titans just in England, 25 shots in the first period, and the numbers just got worse from there.
It was, I'm sure, just a flat-footed period for the Danbury Hat-Tricks, coupled with it has to be generous scoring. It has to be. There's no way that there were 85 shots on goal in a given game. But nevertheless, the man who was standing in between the pipes for the start of the game had 50 saves through 2 periods is Alex Fernandez, who's currently sitting at center ice right now as a healthy scratch.
Well, why not? I think
he deserves a night off.
Yeah, he deserves a break. Spoke to him before the game, asked him if he had an ice pack yet as Misha Mishar swings and misses. Strike one. Mishar again sends one off a Titans skate. Bacon shot goes wide.
Bacon didn't get all of that shot. He hit it with the heel of his stick.
Bacon's D-to-D pass gets sent into section 205, courtesy of George Hagley. And there is somebody up there. That could have been a lucky souvenir.
There is. It just missed. Another couple inches up, and that goes through the posts, and you've got yourself a souvenir.
You were talking about the Madhouse on Madison, fans being right on top
Oh,
of you.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And those old-style barns, they built it vertically.
Oh, yeah.
The new renovations to arenas, for example, Prudential Center, when instead of Brendan Byrne Arena, it's one of those things where instead of building things taller, you're building things wider to allow more fans in.
I've heard of stories of people getting vertigo at the old Aud in Buffalo.
Oh, even Nassau Coliseum, if you go up there, it feels like you're climbing a ladder. You're not walking upstairs.
No, I needed rappelling gear last time I went to one of those games. Here's Dylan Weber. Going back, left off a shot. Nice stand-up block by Nate Biron. Connor Brown will send it back into the Jersey end. We have a whistle. We have a penalty. Who's it going to be against?
Brown and Jardine came together in the neutral zone. They might be calling Jardine, I think, for an elbow.
Perhaps. It looks like Nate Biron's going to be making his way to the penalty box. It will be for elbowing. And so we get to see New Jersey's or rather Danbury's power play for the 5th time this afternoon. They're 2 for 4.
And they've looked great moving the puck. And for New Jersey, again, it's a game of adjustments, trying to figure out what the other team is giving you. Danbury has been able to move the puck at will from behind the end line. You have to be able to adjust that.
Donovan at the blue line as we're underway once again. Sent across, a one-timer by Turinainen, just missed wide. Holding it alive was Madzi. Madzi goes across, gets the puck back, can't hold the blue line, and smartly he draws the whistle. Faceoff might come all the way down the ice, however.
New Jersey's penalty kill is so spread out right now, and they're still, even though they're putting pressure on puck carriers, they're still allowing those passes to go through the center of the ice. They're still allowing them to pass through Royal Road.
And you talk about the aggressiveness. By coming out as far as they are right now on the blue line, it's allowing Danbury to isolate that defender and move the puck around him. Here's Misha Mashar. Swung along, picks up Kovalev. Kovalev in, tries going short side, rings it off the iron, and out of play. Boy, there wasn't much to shoot at there.
No, but again, that's another example of a pass that just can't get through. On the back check, you have Avasov up high at the blue line, and Avasov is back checking, but he's got to keep his feet moving and his stick outstretched more to break up that pass, because you don't know if Kovalev can power through along the goal line at that point.
Nikita Kovalev has already found his name on the score sheet with a secondary assist. That gives him 35 points for the season in 21 games played. Casey, you mentioned guys who are going to get noticed by NAHL teams. That's pretty good.
It's all about putting points on the board. That's the easiest way. When scouting is as difficult as it is this year, where you're not seeing a lot of scouts traveling from team to team, state to state, it's harder to get noticed by colleges, but it's harder to get noticed by the higher levels of junior hockey. So the easiest way to do that is just by putting points up, point to the numbers.
That really is a great point. You take a look at leagues like the OHL and the WHL, which haven't even started their season yet. They're going to have, an abbreviated 24-game season, something along those lines, as Kovalev nearly dipsy-doodles his way through the entire defense. But, yeah, you don't have people watching these games, offsides against Danbury. You don't have people watching these games. You don't have people at the games. It's tough. And a lot of these different programs are simply going to look at statistics.
You have to hope that the camera picks up what you're doing, too. A lot of it is funny. There's more of an emphasis now on broadcast quality than there ever has been. So if you have a good camera vantage point like Danbury Arena, where you're able to see a good width of the ice, that's something that we can tout. New Jersey also has a good broadcast vantage point. But there are other arenas across America, especially on the East Coast, I think, that are very low to the ice, or maybe you have a cameraman who's just asleep at the wheel, and you better hope that your actions get caught.
Net is off the moorings. Play continues as Madzi gives finally along for Donovan. Donovan tries forcing one on goal. 2 seconds and 1. New Jersey has killed off the penalty. Here's Madzi. Caught from behind by Smith. Oldham in the corner. Smith will take it back. And Tanner Smith sends one off the boards out of the reach of Nate Biron. Bacon gets it out of the zone. And now Nick Cullinan. Cullinan, a Ridgefield, Connecticut native, cuts towards the front. No, great save. Goodson doing a snow angel, and he keeps it out.
Cullinan put his arms in the air. He saw the puck disappear underneath the leg pad of Goodson. He thought he snuck it underneath him on the near side post. Instead, it was sitting on the outside.
Delayed call coming up against the Tricks. Goodson to the bench, and Oldham with the touch, or check that, Cullinan touching the puck. As it was an awkward check in the neutral zone. And now we'll get to see the Titans power play. And with over 4 minutes gone by in the third, they're only trailing by 2, but a goal here would go a long way in putting them back in contention. Westendorf and Kovalev, the forwards. Lefkoff and Madsey, the defenseman for Danbury. Haven't seen Lefkoff and Madsey paired up too often in this game.
Not really. They like to spread them out, but when you've got a late power play like this one that's very crucial, you put your best players on the ice.
Doucette stepping in. Doucette a shot right into the rabbit on the chest of Nate Hadley's uniform, and he'll hold on.
You've got Weber and Donovan coming out onto the ice for the penalty kill forwards. Weber had himself a couple of shorties last year. And you need someone with a little bit of offensive talent on the penalty kill, trying to negate the threat for New Jersey.
At the very least, it keeps their defensemen honest. 13 seconds elapsed off the penalty. Draw finds its way back onto the stick of Gonzalez Helm. He goes D to D across. A bouncing puck lands in front of a net, and it gets chipped wide. Well, is that a rubber puck or a rubber ball?
That was wacky. That landed right onto the stick of Avasov. He had himself a point-blank chance, and he was able to lift it, too. It landed right in front of him, and he's still able to sky it.
It's not an easy puck to handle, but Brandon Avasov certainly has the skill to do so. Here's George Hagley, sending one into the corner. Lefkoff gets there for Danbury. Donovan in support. Gonzalez Helm holds the blue line for now. Lefkoff still trying to force it up. Dumps Gonzalez Helm down to the ice. Puck stays in the offensive zone. Shot, sends one over the top of the net was Hagley.
Hagley had an open net to shoot at that top side. Hadley was down.
Gonzalez Helm again with under a minute to go in the power play. Nice move to get around Donovan. Feeds across. Avasov, a shot saved by Hadley.
Hadley slams the door. What a terrific move that was by Gonzalez Helm to set that up.
A 6'6" defenseman, and he's stick handling in a phone booth now. A shot, save, rebound, scores. George Hagley, a power play goal, and New Jersey once again makes it a one-goal game. It's 3-2.
You can't give them that many opportunities and expect them not to score. The initial chance, as mentioned before, Gonzalez Helm does a spinorama move in the high slot and sets up Avasov at the near side circle, and Hadley comes up with a big save. The rebound is kept alive, though, and the Titans are able to maintain zone pressure. It was a long, long shift for those Danbury penalty killers. They're eventually worn down to the point where Hagley is left all alone in front, and another lively rebound off of Hadley is poked home between the 5-hole.
For George Hagley, it is his 6th goal of the season, his first coming on the man advantage, and I find that hard to believe because he looked like he belonged with that unit.
He was very comfortable, and a lot of that is just knowing where to stand on the power play, and he knew where to stand right in front of the netminder.
Jamison Bain gets turned around, no call coming. Picked up and taken out of the zone by Kyle Madigan. He tries chipping one along for Tarainen. Tarainen reaching for it. Another good save by Grant Goodson. Rebound, scores! Westendorf, 4-2 Danbury.
How wacky was that sequence? The initial shot is a breakaway for Tarainen, and he's able to break in on Goodson, and another great desperation save for Goodson. He thinks he's got the puck safely steered into the corner. Danbury keeps it alive with an aggressive forecheck. They had numbers down low, and it's Westendorf going tit for tat with New Jersey. Sees a shot scored from the crease. He does one better, and he scores one of his own from in front.
For Westendorf, it is his 3rd goal of the season. Boy, Grant Goodson has made some real highlight reel saves this afternoon. But his team finds themselves down by 2 goals once again. Donovan chipping it down into the Jersey end. 6.5 gone by in the third. Weber picks up a loose puck, has an option in left cough, instead takes the shot himself. That pinballs right over to the Chipman Mizuko Emerson sign on the boards. Connor Brown gets knocked down at the neutral zone. Colby Donovan, his shot goes well wide. Interesting bounce off the stanchion behind the cage.
It's a good give and go there with Nate Mastroni, with Colby Donovan together. Puck was rolling on Mastroni, and he was still able to muscle the puck over to Donovan, even though it was rolling up his stick.
And, you know, players like Donovan and Mastroni, they haven't played too much on the same line together over the past couple seasons, but the key there over the past couple seasons, these are guys who see each other in practice every day.
Sure, and when you're able to stay together for so long, you're bound to establish some chemistry, or at least get an idea of what your team's tendencies are. You're able to know who's going where, and the two of them together, you can, I think at this point, the goal is you can plot anyone with anyone, and they will still be able to come out on top.
Right. You don't need to have, you know, the Sedin twins, ESP, I know where you're going to be.
No, a lot of that is just good fundamentals.
And buying into the system that
Sure.
Kevin Cunningham and Brian Allen have installed here. Shot saved by Goodson. The rebound pops out to the side of the cage. Cullinan takes a couple swipes. Titans will be able to clear out. Here's Tanner Smith softly into the zone. Byron sees this cleared off the glass past him. Kovalev chipping along for Cullinan. Cullinan on goal, saved by Goodson. And he'll hold on as Nick Cullinan not happy that he hasn't found the back of the net.
Well, Cullinan is using his speed there, and he's able to provide some separation for himself. He gets 2 strides past the New Jersey defense, and that's all he needs to get a good shot off. He tries to beat him low. That was the only really chance that he had to beat Goodson. Goodson up to the task again, and Goodson has kept the Titans in this game because, if nothing else, it's been a game of call and response for Danbury. Getting that 4th goal for them was such a backbreaker.
Here come the Titans, 3-on-1 into the zone, broken up by Cole Madzy.
Savvy play there.
3-on-3, call it 4-on-3 back the other way. Here's Aiden Bepko. Shoved off by Gonzalez Helm, and the defenseman will be able to clear. Titans coming back the other way. Gonzalez Helm sends it off the legs of Hagley. Hagley tries dropping back for Doucette. That's flexed away.
And that's another good breakup by Cole Madzy because he got a stick on another chance that might have been a good one-timer.
Avazov stripped of the puck. Danbury looking to clear, taking too long to do so. And a nice diving play by Philip Doucette keeps the puck in the offensive zone for New Jersey. Here's Bain. Again, Hatricks can't clear. Shooting one wide was Doucette. Now picked up by Drew Goodman. Goodman will gain the red line and go off for an obedient change. 11:35 to go in regulation. Casey, you're starting to see the Titans with these home run passes. They're keeping somebody up by the Danbury blue line seemingly at all times.
It's a similar tactic that the Northeast Generals employed when they were down by 4-2 and 4-1 scores to the Danbury Junior Hatricks a couple weeks ago.
A rising shot off the stick of Brett Bell catches nothing but net. Problem for him is it's the net over the glass, and the faceoff should come out of the zone.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I tried.
But anyway, the Generals and Titans are similar in that they're trying to stretch out the Danbury forecheck. And that goes to show that Danbury's forecheck is effective really against anyone in the division, that they force them to resort to these desperation plays. There's still 11 minutes left in the game, and it's only a 2-goal deficit. And Jersey is still here going right to the whip, trying to break things open. Now, they have gotten a couple of different rushes, but they've been broken up by Danbury defender Cole Madzy. He's broken up a couple of different chances here in the last couple minutes.
Well, Madzy's one of your best defensemen in Danbury, and you need your best players to be exactly that. Mastroni got the puck into the New Jersey end. Here's Tanner Smith turning it over. Donovan, a shot blocked in the slot. Nice shot by Jardine getting in the way.
And Donovan makes that whole play happen by throwing a hard hit along the boards. Mastroni carries in, he drops it back. It's taken by a New Jersey Titan, and Donovan throws his weight against the boards to knock the puck free and get a shot on goal for himself.
Brown can't clear. Jardine whitens and fires. That's a stand-up block. Mastroni gets the puck right over to the Fairfield County Bank logo in the neutral zone. Donovan at the end of his shift tries chipping it along for Weber. No sale there, and then nearly turning the puck over is Michael Masiri. Masiri again with 10:15 to go in regulation time. Chipped off the glass. Lefkoff will send it right back into New Jersey zone. Flying is Misha Mashar.
That line has had great jump to it. The Cullinan, Kovalev, Mashar line. I feel like we say it every single game, but it's worth noting that they've just playing with such great speed.
Such great speed, and they're able to find each other out there. Here is Cameron Pape sending one through the slot. Nobody wearing red and black able to get a handle on it. Pape a backhander, and that one trickles wide.
Speaking of great speed, how about that play breaking in by Zach Cafaro?
Here's Lefkoff looking to clear. Manages to thread the needle up ahead for Cullinan. Cullinan one hand on his stick, too far from Mashar. Madsey sees this go over his stick. Cade Bacon will collect with now under 9.5 to go. As we've mentioned, first of 3 games between these two teams right here in Danbury. Friday, another 12:30 face-off, so if you didn't have time to get a sandwich and watch this game, you'll have another opportunity within 48 hours.
Got to plan that breakfast accordingly.
That's why I stopped by Wawa on the way up here.
It's a brunch special.
I don't know. Is it brunch when it's 12:30?
Well, that all depends on when you get up, I suppose.
I suppose you're right, but
if you're a late riser like myself, I don't know, these 12:30 starts they're rough.
I'll bring you a coffee next time. 9 to go in regulation. Softly into the Danbury zone. Hadley will leave it for Cade Bacon. Off the boards, connects with Madigan. Over the blue line, but Madigan lost possession of the puck. From a neutral zone, he'll flip one down deep. Goodson leaves it behind the cage. Long pass intended for Avazov. Mastroni got in the way. Wallace, D to D, and now Nate Mastroni once again. Has Tarainen as a trailer, gives him a backhand shot, bounces off the leg pad of Goodson, and then Jake Oldham was right there on the doorstep.
Oldham got a piece of that initial shot. He was able to redirect it into the pads of Goodson. That's a great play there.
Grant Goodson has now made 30 saves this afternoon. His team will require a couple more. There's number 31 as that gets directed out of play. Face-off coming up in the New Jersey zone with 8:09 to go in regulation.
Mastroni getting double shifted on that particular sequence. He was out there with Oldham making things happen in the offensive zone. Just a couple of moments after he was out there with Weber and Donovan, and here he is remaining out there.
Oh, Mastroni has certainly had a strong game. He's been turning it on lately. Weber goes back to the point. Lefkoff shot off the skate of the defender in front of the net. Now Bell sending it down deep. I think that was Tanner Smith who actually got in the way of that Lefkoff shot. Regardless. Up the boards. Colby Donovan will give chase. Masiri gets there first. Masiri taken down from behind. No call coming. Lefkoff at the blue line. Turns the puck over. 2-on-2 through the neutral zone, and a solid defensive play by Cole Madsey breaks up that offensive opportunity.
He's had a great third here, Zach.
Now Madsey, just as we jinxed him, runs into Connor Lefkoff.
He's setting a pick.
Here's Lefkoff, the defenseman. Over the Hat-Tricks logo at center ice and chipped down deep. Kicks off the boards, came out towards the slot. Titans were able to easily clear. Bacon under some pressure. Bell sees this go away.
That's too many men.
Yes, it is.
Mastroni wasn't yet towards the bench. Cullinan put his arms up in the air. He knew that was a bit too soon.
It was Misha Mashar who came off the bench, and it'll be Mashar who serves this penalty. And Casey, it seems every game now we're talking about these line changes and just throwing the puck in the feet of the players there.
That's your timing is just a bit off there because Mastroni has to hop onto the boards. Even though there's 7 minutes left and you're protecting a multi-goal lead, you have to keep that same energy going to and from the bench. That's one of the easiest chances for you to sort of let your guard down.
And beyond that, again, this is, to your point, only a 2-goal game. New Jersey can score in bunches. We've seen them do it already.
Absolutely. They have a power play goal here this afternoon. So if they get another one here, all of a sudden, you're white-knuckling it to the end.
This is New Jersey's 4th power play of the afternoon. They're 0 for, or rather, they're 1 for 3 so far.
Look at the hustle from Oldham on that shift there, beating both Titans down the length of the ice.
Well, it's that hustle that Jake Oldham's really shown over the past few weeks. That's why he's getting so much more ice time. He had some power play time earlier, and now, because of that hustle, it's an icing against New Jersey and a face-off in their own end.
I think that the New Jersey defense wasn't really expecting him to be coming in that hard, but Oldham, from his own zone to the other end of the ice, never let up.
And Oldham, again, not one of the bigger players at 5'9", but another local product. He's a native of Southbury, just about 20 minutes away from here. To the outside, it's Doucette. Pair of hat tricks trying to dig the puck out in the corner. 30 seconds has already gone off the New Jersey power play. Hagley goes back to the point, and this is Gonzalez Helm. Deflected off of Bacon behind the net. Now a sharp angle attempt. Taking the backhander was Brandon Avazov, and he took a cross check to the back as well. Now Gonzalez Helm again. Too much stick handling. Goes through his teammates' legs, and New Jersey has to regroup.
Gonzalez Helm does such a good job running the point for this power play. He was able to generate a chance, and he sends it down low. Cade Bacon got a piece of a pass towards the end line. Bacon didn't really know where the puck was. He just kind of stuck his leg out and hoped for the best.
A pair of guys at 6'6" meeting each other. Donovan tries forcing a turnover. Instead, it's Gonzalez Helm sending it far side for Brett Bell. Bell neatly stripped by Weber, and Weber turns one off the boards. Nearly was able to connect with Donovan, but he had a couple officials in the way.
Puck was bouncing up a little bit at Donovan, too. He was chopping down at it, but it was up by his knee.
Dumped back into the Danbury end with 18 to go on New Jersey's power play. Around the boards and out once again. New Jersey's having real difficulty setting up anything in the zone.
It was a good clear there by Bryce Wallace to make that play happen, getting to the puck first.
Clearing attempt gets knocked down. Donovan will chip it back towards his own cage. Now, I think Nathan Hadley's seen enough shots. You don't need him coming from his teammates, too. Long pass just goes under the stick of Mishar. No icing on the play. Misha Mishar for Cullinan, a shot. Great save. Grant Goodson coming up big.
And you could hear Cullinan calling for it out on the ice, and Mishar hits him tape to tape.
Yeah, you can't ask for much better than that on receiving a pass. Offsides called against New Jersey.
And once again, it's another great save there by Grant Goodson, but it's really from his own miscue really in the corner. He goes out to play the puck and leaves it, and Mishar takes the puck away. So now Goodson all of a sudden has to amble back towards the cage and get square to a streaking Cullinan. He doesn't have a lot of time to set up for that shot. That was pure instinct.
And that's a Nick Cullinan that has the longest scoring streak in the league so far this season. You know he's annoyed he hasn't found the back of the net once again today.
Well, he does have at least one assist on the play, though.
Oh, he's still in the score sheet.
He still has the point-scoring streak alive, if nothing else.
Yeah, if he started himself in fantasy, he's still happy with the performance, but...
Is that technically gambling on yourself?
I
Is that Pete Rose?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's ask the Cincinnati Reds about it. 4:10 to go in regulation. Danbury with the 2-goal lead. Cade Bacon deliberately through his own end into the skates of Cullinan. Now Madzi. Up again for Cullinan. And Casey, I'm noticing something with this line I haven't really seen before. They're being real patient with the puck. They're happy to let the time wink off.
Well, at this point, when they have a 2-goal lead, you don't have to be always running with the puck. You can sort of take your time. But that's the strength of that line, is that they're able to play well at a high pace, and they're able to slow things down, too.
And, you know, to that end, this New Jersey Titans team, especially their defense, they've seen this line barreling in on them the entire game. Now suddenly they're holding back. They're more passing in the neutral zone. It gives them more space. 4:43 to go in the third. Here's Brandon Avazov doing battle with Connor Lefkoff in the corner.
Lefkoff boxed him out from that puck there.
Sharp angle attempt, easily handled by Hadley. Now coming up with the puck is Philip Doucette. He already has one. A backhand shot gloved by Hadley, and he'll hold on.
Hadley put a little mustard on that save as well, holding that glove up for emphasis.
Little Patrick Waugh Statue of Liberty play.
Well, it is St. Patrick's Day.
That's a great point. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone at home. You know, it's once we can actually I'm just looking forward to making up all the holidays from last year. Cinco de St. Patrick of July.
Well, last year was supposed to be the chosen year, right? All of the holidays were on weekends. We were all going to enjoy ourselves for some good times and merriment and revelry.
And friends.
And being together in the same room.
And people.
Good times. Well, at least now you're fully vaccinated, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Flex on them a little bit there.
Apparently. I still need to wait another week or so before everything will be 100% effective. It is a good feeling. It's
comfort.
Yeah, exactly. I was searching for the word there because you know what? Eventually, sometime this year, I feel like we're going to have this arena at full capacity again.
Sure.
And when that happens, I don't want anything to worry about.
Absolutely. You've got the Fed team coming back in October. The North American League team is making a run for the Robertson Cup playoffs right now. And you've got these NA3 players who are used to playing for friends and family and fans in the Danbury area. You have 3 teams, not to mention the women's team that plays here too, that didn't get to have a home game this season but played here last year. So you have 4 teams really wanting a full fan support behind them.
Of course, and then we can stretch this even further. Western Connecticut State and their ACHA team. They've had some good crowds here that we saw last year. Shot by Mashar gets directed out of play.
And how lively did the high school games get too? We can go on and on and on about how many fans and how many members of this community that this arena supports and helps cultivate an environment of hockey fandom.
Of course, because it's beyond just here in the arena. Look at the businesses around the arena as well. And you take a look at someplace like Two Steps Downtown Grill.
Right across the street from here.
Right across the street from here. And after the Fed games, it's usually where you could find the two of us.
Well, it's the official post-game stop of the Danbury Hat-Tricks organization. And they've done a lot of good for the different Danbury teams that have played here since 2010.
Here's Kovalev with under 2 to play. Kovalev bounces off of a couple defenders. Still managed to get the puck along for Cullinan. A wraparound attempt saved by Goodson. Nets off of its moorings. Here's Kovalev, a backhand shot. Goodson makes the save, and there's the whistle for the net.
And Goodson stays in the play even though he knows the net is off its mooring. That's good playing until the whistle blows. He could have very easily halted for a moment, knowing that right post is off, knowing that a goal scored may not exactly count, but he sticks with it, and he gets a blocker on that backhander from Kovalev.
And, you know, the Cullinan wraparound, when he had a chance earlier, the net was off the moorings.
Yes.
I wonder if that was going through his head, thinking, oh, maybe I have a little extra room here on the near side. Andrei Kapranov of New Jersey has used his timeout. 103 seconds left to go in this game, and they're down by 2.
I tell you, going back again to that wraparound chance for Cullinan as well, he's behind the net, and he gets the near side post. He's denied. What does he do? He gets the puck right back and tries the other post. He says, all right, that one's not open. Let me try another one. You don't often see that, 2 wraparounds on the same play.
No, and it's pretty emblematic of what Danbury's been able to do to New Jersey's defense, because Danbury's picking up their own rebounds. Doesn't matter if it's in the corner, doesn't matter if it's in front of the net. When they're taking the shot, Goodson's making the save, and if he can't hold on to it, New Jersey's defense has not done the best of jobs today of clearing that out.
It's curious. It's almost like there's a barrier on that end line to where no New Jersey Titan is going behind it at all, whether it's 5-on-5 or 5-on-4.
Hey, you know, that's a good point. You haven't really – I feel like the only defenseman I've really seen behind his own net is Ian Gonzalez Helm. And when you're 6'6", I mean, when your wingspan is bigger than the net itself, you have, I guess, a little more leeway of doing that. Grant Goodson returns to the goal on our left. I imagine as soon as New Jersey clears, he'll sprint to the bench in favor of the extra attacker. And if you take a look at the New Jersey bench at the bottom of your screens, you might see Brandon Avazov waiting at that door. Here's Gonzalez Helm. Up ahead, Avazov Backhand shot, that goes wide.
They were able to time that line change so quickly. It looked like Avasov came out of nowhere in the neutral zone.
Yeah, they really did, didn't they?
I was counting to see if perhaps there was someone hopping over the boards too soon, because we have seen that in Danbury Arena as well. When the Elmira Enforcers were here in town, they had 6 skaters out for a full minute.
And that occurred basically the same way, where a guy came onto the bench behind the opposing defense. And yeah, and it's, after the game, I'm going to take a look at that. I'm curious if the Titans started that with only 4 skaters on the ice.
It's entirely possible.
It's interesting. Either way, we've got 1:07 to go. Danbury's iced the puck. Grant Goodson goes to the bench. And New Jersey will have 6 attackers. It'll be Philip Doucette with Brandon Avazov in the shooter's position. Puck goes past the stick of Avazov. Gonzalez Helm sends it back down. Doucette. Pass goes through everybody. Gonzalez Helms has to fetch.
This is the challenge for New Jersey. Puck possession has been such a struggle for them today.
50 seconds to go. Madsy in the neutral zone. Can't chip it very deep. Picked up by Doucette. Tries to set things up. Gets canceled out by Lefkoff. Pass through the slot off the stick of Byron. Goes through everyone. Jake Oldham, great block. Oldham now chasing after it. Madigan will pick it up. Madigan lost possession at the red line. Boy, and how about the trust that this coaching staff is putting in Jake Oldham as that shot from the Danbury zone goes wide. But Jake Oldham, this is someone who was mired on the 4th line. Here he is, under a minute to play in a very important defensive spot.
Oldham is being relied on more and more, and it's about the maturation process, right? He's a young player in his first year with the team. He's just trying to make an impact, and he's been growing into that role.
Weber with a clean face-off win. Cole Madsy is content just to hold this puck in the corner. 3 Titans trying to dig it on out. Eventually it comes loose, and now Weber will hold it up. Trickles towards goal. Hadley makes the save. Hadley then takes a stick to the glove. Couple words exchanged, but nothing too physical. And with 12.5 to go, barring a miracle, looks like Danbury's going to get themselves off the schneid.
Yeah, well, it's the rebound that they want. They had been playing very strong hockey in the last month, and they're trying to get back in the W column. They were able to put last night behind them. I think having an immediate game after the fact made things easier.
Feels good simply because you don't have to think about it. You don't have a day or two to stew on things. And it worked out pretty well for them. That'll do it. Danbury, a 4-2 victory over the New Jersey Titans. Danbury's record improves to 18 wins and 11 losses. Their 36 points has them in second place. The Titans fall to 14-11, 1-2. 31 points has them in third place. Nate Hadley records the victory for Danbury. That improves his personal record to 11-4 for the season. And Grant Goodson, a real hard luck loss for